Ka pai, so tēnā tātou no mai hara mai ki tēnei kōrero. So we're talking about Māori students here at Te Whare Wānanga o Waikato. Our Māori ki Waikato is the name of our group that we have here at Ropu. It's full of staff members that are here to help you, all of our Māori students. So ko Luke Moss tuku ingoa, he no tēnei no Ngāti Maniapoto, Ngāti Rora. So I was born and raised in Te Kuiti, went to study at University of Waikato in 2014, and I am currently working in the Deputy Vice Chancellor Māori Office as a Programs Coordinator for Māori Student Achievement. So I run two programs. One's called Te Ahuritanga, which is a Māori Leadership Program for our second and third years, and a first year transition program called Te Ahuritanga, Te Kāhui Pirere, which we'll talk to a bit more throughout this presentation.
Kia ora tātou, my name is Jazz, and no Waikato me Ngāti Maniapoto aho, and I am a student at Waikato currently in my last semester of my degree. So I'm studying Bachelor of Science, and I'm also a mentor for first year science students at Waikato. Kia ora.
Kia ora, Maniapoto in the house. So we're going to be telling you guys a bit, firstly, what you, our whānau, can do to help your students if they're going off. I know it can be quite scary, especially if they're first in whānau going to university, on what you guys can help with. So we'll get into it. So here's our Whānau Hacks. So the first one is to help your child or your moko articulate themselves for scholarship applications. So I know it is very hard for Māori people in general to boast about themselves, but to crack those scholarships, whānau, you really need to be helping your child go through the applications, write up something fancy, make sure they're making themselves sound mean as, because I know all of our Māori whānau do a lot of work in the iwi, in the marae, in their schools, in their community, and it can go unseen. So make sure you include all those things into your scholarship applications, because those are going to be what's different. So please make sure you push your children, help them out to do scholarships, because they're going to help in the long run of university.
Cool. Our next hack is attendance at pōwhiri for whānau and Tauira. So every semester we have a pōwhiri to welcome in all our new Tauira who are starting that semester, and we invite their whānau to come and join as well. For a lot of Tauira and whānau, this is their first point of contact with the university, and it's an opportunity for Tauira to feel like campus is their home away from home. So yeah, really supports our whānau and their Tauira to attend the pōwhiri together. A great place to ask heaps of questions, especially, you know, you're handing over your child to the university for us to look after them. So it's a great place to meet those people that will be looking after your tamariki.
Yeah, pōwhiri, super important to make sure that, you know, your tamariki feel like they're getting supported from when they're leaving home to their new home here at Te Whare Wānanga o Waikato. So another tip is to have early conversations with your child about what they're good at and what they may be interested in. Just because at university, there's a vast range of papers compared to high school. So just because you're good at chemistry and biology at high school doesn't mean that you have to do chemistry and biology at university. Those subjects that you're good at and that you're interested in can actually be expanded into a lot more diverse subjects and papers here at university. So make sure you talk to your your tamariki early about what they're interested in and what they're good at. So make sure that, you know, high school, you're getting the most out of the potential of high school, that if you look at it this way, you can get the most and a lot more experience out of your university lifetime, because it's a lot different to high school. There's a lot more subjects, there's a lot more help here, and you can go deeper into the things you're actually interested in, not just stuff you're good at. So make sure you head on to the Waikato website, look up the papers, look up some stuff you're interested in, look at the bachelors, look at the degrees, and see, because it's a lot different from high school, a lot more opportunities. So that's another tip.
Cool. So those are a few tips for before university starts. Our next couple of tips are for during university, when your tauira are actually studying in their undergrad. And so the first one is to have regular check-ins with your tauira. You know your students, you know your tamariki, you know what they need, and you know how to offer them support. So be there to support them when they need. Help them have realistic expectations on the time commitment that university is going to have, and just supporting and being understanding that they might not be able to come home every weekend. And by doing that, we're helping them to prioritize their schoolwork, because, you know, we want them to succeed while they're here. And if you want them to succeed while they're here as well, and you're offering that support, then it's a win-win for everybody.
Rawe, yes, if there's something on the marae, you can't call them up for the dishes. Let them do their assignments, please, whānau. When they finish their degree, they can come back and do the dishes. So the last thing we have for our whānau is to celebrate the small wins with your student, with your tauira, with your tamariki, because it can make a huge impact on their life at university. I remember my first year, spent weeks doing this assignment, took it to my mum and said, hey, mum, I've got an A on this. Do you want to read it? She's like, nah, not really. And I was like, you know, I just spent all of this time, stress and everything put into this one assignment, and I was like, oh man, my mum doesn't even care. Obviously she does, but just those small things and those small celebrations can help tamariki, you know, gain that next level of their life. You know, the first time they go, hey mum, I went shopping for the first time. Hey mum, I made my first dinner for the first time. I made this dinner, I did my washing like this. Celebrate with them, because those small things, they all add up. And when they're saying, hey mum, I went to all my classes this week, giving them a thumbs up, not the, oh, you should be going every week, you should be doing this. It can be quite tough, and then they might not want to be calling mum up or dad up for some help. So make sure you celebrate those small wins and keep encouraging them throughout university, because it can be a hard space, especially at your first in whānau. So now, those are our whānau tips. We've got some for our tauira. So the first one, this is before university starts. If you want to stay in the halls, if you don't want to stay in the halls, you should stay in the halls. It's the place to be. You get put in a place with heaps of other people, heaps of first years. You have RAs, you have people there ready to help you. You don't have to worry about your kai. You make your, you know you're going to get fed every day. Your washing's all in the one place. You can go back somewhere close to university, have heaps of friends, and have another whānau on campus. There's also kaupapa Māori floors, Pacifica floors. So if you want to be jumping into one of these floors that are just Māori, heaps of Māori support, you can sign up to those. So staying in the halls is a really good start to your university career. Make heaps of friends and sort of boost you in those first few weeks or months of your university life.
Cool. Our next hack is to sort study link early, and early is in capital letters for a reason. Almost every single student will need to deal with study link at some point during their studies for either student allowance or student loan. Or living costs as well. And the wait times for StudyLink on the phone and to get your letters back can be super long. So we recommend getting in and sorting out your StudyLink early. Your whānau can help you with that as well. There are some forms that need parents' information as well. So get those forms in early. Don't put yourself out. Don't start worrying about StudyLink when you're already starting at uni and you're starting to get your first assignments in. Sort it out early. Just get it done, whānau, and and you won't be the one on the phone waiting half an hour for them to answer your call.
Yeah, if you wait too long on StudyLink, then you have to pay late fees at university, and you don't want that. So make sure you get in there early. So the next tip, whānau, is what would you do for someone to give you free money? Probably go to work, do something crazy. All you have to do for this is write down on a piece of paper and apply to your scholarship. So applying for scholarships, there's a plethora of them out everywhere. You can get them from your iwi, you can get grants from your iwi, you can get from different organisations. If you head onto the Waikato page, you search up scholarships in the search bar, you're going to get a list of all of the scholarships available at this time for the University of Waikato. Go through, make sure you're eligible to do it, and apply. If you're eligible to do any scholarship, apply for it. You might think, oh, I might not be smart enough there, or, you know, I'm sort of into the tile stuff. It's like an environmental thing, but I'm only taking one paper. If you're eligible to apply for it, whānau, apply. A lot of scholarships only get a few people applying. Some of them don't get anyone applying at all. So make sure you apply for your scholarships, because just when you think you might not be eligible for it, or you might not get it because you're not going to be the best person, it's more than likely that you are the best person. You're just trying to be too humble. So make sure you apply for all the scholarships you can, to make it a bit easier at university.
Cool. And our next tip is a little plug for the Jumpstart program. So the Jumpstart program is an awesome opportunity for all Tauira, especially our school leavers, to bridge the gap between high school and university. So it's a summer-based program where Tauira can take a couple of papers and that'll contribute towards their undergrad. They get to do a bit of bridging between what it's like to study at high school and what it's like to study at university. So it's really, really good for easing students in so that when they do start their official bachelor's in a semester, they're already set and they're good to go. They've got the study habits. They know what it's like to have a lecturer. It's just a really good introduction to university life. So Jumpstart program, get on it.
Rawe, so that's pre-university. Now we're getting into stuff you should do when you're at university. I'll throw it over to you, Jess.
Kāpai. So we have orientation weeks for both A semester and B semester, depending on when you're looking at starting. The university holds their own orientation weeks, and Māori, there is a Māori orientation week for Māori Tauira as well. We encourage you to attend these orientation weeks. This is when you can get introduced to the Māori rōpū on campus, meet your mentors and other Māori staff, and see what sort of support and events are out there for Māori students in particular. And it's a really great space where you can meet other first-year Māori students. Yep.
Māori orientation, the place to be. So the second tip here for when you're at university is to, if you have the opportunity to take an elective paper, another paper outside of your subject at uni, you should definitely do so. So if you're doing environmental, go take a marketing paper. If you're doing law, go take a film paper. You might just find out that that thing's your passion, or that one paper is going to help you add to your university experience, because doing a lot more different papers and a lot of different subjects, when you finish university, when you have your bachelor's, you're going to have a lot more other papers underneath your belt that's going to give you different skills and stuff in the industry or wherever you're going to go and apply your degree. It's going to help in the future. So if you do have a chance to get electives, highly recommend taking something random, something you really want to do. Maybe it's like a dance, you know, they have dance papers at uni, they have music papers at uni, maybe it's like a Te Reo Māori course. Up to you. If you have a chance of taking an elective, I highly recommend. It's quite refreshing, I think, doing it outside of your subject, gives your brain a bit of a rest, and it can be quite easy, I think, applying your knowledge to a different subject. So yeah, if you have the opportunity, take a different paper.
Oh, kia ora. And our next tip is to make good friends. So that's making friends in your classes, in your labs, in your tutorials, everywhere you go on campus. This is a tip that I share with all my first year Tauira that I look after, is to make good friends. And good is in brackets and emphasized there, because you want to make friends that show up to the classes and show up to the labs. They'll be your go-to person if you have that one itchy question that you need to ask and you don't have the time to wait for your lecturers to respond, but you know you had a mate in that class. They can also help you just to be motivated to show up. So making good friends is super important, and it'll actually make a lot of your classes a lot more enjoyable.
Make heaps of friends. They're the key to university success. So another tip is communication with your lecturers, your parents, the RAs, your whānau leaders, your mentors, and making sure that you're responsible for your actions. So there's a lot of help that you can get here at Waikato, and people are here and they want you to succeed. But if you're off the radar, if you're not contacting anybody, then we can't contact you. So the main thing is to make sure you're communicating straight with all the people that want to help you. If you need help, just call out and sing. We're not going to say, oh, you know, you're not good at uni because you're wanting help. Our whole job is situated around helping you. So we just want to get in there and help you. So make sure you keep our comms up. Lecturers, tutors, you could email all these people. You might have the ultimate doctor, senior professor, so-and-so that's doing the lead research in the industry, and you're like, oh, they're a bit of a rangatira, I don't want to message them. You can email them whatever you want, and they have to email you back because they're there to help you. So make sure you just keep in contact with everybody and make sure that you're keeping it real. That's the number one. So, you know, if your tutor asks you, hey, how's that assignment going due tomorrow? And you go, yeah, I'm almost done, but you're still on the first paragraph of your essay. They'd prefer if you just said, oh, hey, I'm on my first paragraph. Then they can give you the right advice to get it done before the next day. You know, if you say, oh, I'm almost done, they're going to go, cool, sweet as, and you're going to be in the same position. But if you just be honest with them, say, hey, I'm struggling a bit. Hey, could you send me those lecture slides? Hey, I need a bit of help with my referencing or something I haven't done. Don't be embarrassed. Just go ask them for help and keep it real. Because if you don't keep it real, you're keeping it fake. I don't know what I was going with that, but yeah, keep it real. Okay.
Yeah, just to talk all that, everyone at university wants you to succeed. All your lecturers, your staff, your whānau leaders, they all want to see you succeed. And so, yeah, communicating with them is key, because they're there to support you and they want to help you and see you be the best that you can be. And just to continue with that, making the most of every opportunity is our last tip for our tauira. And it kind of links with what Luke was just talking about. And I've heard him say as well a couple of times that going to your classes, that's the bread and butter of university, but there's so much more on offer that can add to your university experience. And a lot of that comes from those lecturers, comes from those whānau leaders, it comes from student rōpū. There's so many opportunities for you to attend different kaupapa on campus that are not only enjoyable and you'll make friends, but they could be that link that you need when you actually leave university and you're trying to get into a career space. So make the most of every opportunity. It's not high school. We can't force you to do everything. We can have all the opportunities for you, but we're all adults here and you have to take those opportunities. Yeah, so especially for first years, there's so much available, there's so much on offer, and we'll get into that next.
Yeah, so in terms of opportunities, here we have, I'll throw back to you, Jazzy, as one of our Māori mentors. You can explain to us what the Māori mentor units are.
Cool. So like I mentioned earlier, I am a mentor for first year Māori science students. And so every first year student at Waikato has a mentor assigned to them depending on what they study. And so we have a really awesome whānau model here at Waikato, where all our first year students are placed into a whānau of other students that are also studying similar topics. They'll be led by a whānau leader who would be the mentor. So I'm a mentor for a little whānau rōpū here on campus of first year science students. Those mentors are there to be your first point of call for any type of advice, any type of academic support, pastoral support, procedural support, course advice. If you just aren't comfortable even getting in touch with your lecturer, they're there to help with that. Yeah, so they're really a first port of call for all sorts of support. Something that I've said before is that whatever support looks like to you, that's what we want to offer. And that's really the purpose of our mentoring unit here on campus.
Kia ora, Māori Mentors, the place to be. So another port of support is our Māori student rōpū. So here are all the rōpū here. It's pretty much, and each faculty, they have a rōpū Māori run by students, for students, that just gives you the extra help that you need at university. Make some friends, get in the same things. They've got an environmental one, they've got one for Māori studies, they've got one for science. So whatever you're studying, there's a support crew there for you. And these are the people that have done your papers before. They might be your tutors, they've experienced what first years are, they're made predominantly of second and third years. So you can just ask them honestly, oh, hey, what did you do for this assignment? They can give you tips and clues on everything. So those are our Māori student rōpū. Plethora of opportunities. So the last thing I want to touch on is Te Kāhui Pirere. So Te Kāhui Pirere is a first year transition program. Sorry, Elijah covered his face, but that's all right. For Tauira Māori here at university, and the first thing is to create a whānau away from your whānau. So I know a lot of people travel away from their whānau and they come to Waikato, and we want to make this another safe place for them to feel like home. This is an iwi away from their own iwi. So what we do is we get all of our first years together, we have whakawhanaungatanga, we run noho, make sure you guys are all good, you're feeling safe at uni, you're feeling like this is home, and then we start getting into workshops and support for you guys. We let you know who you need to contact, we help you with everything and anything you need. Workshops on referencing, APA, how to live, how to be an adult, everything you need. So when you come to be in your second year, you're the master of your own future and you can do whatever you want to do. So we give you all the tools from there. Other than that, that comes to the end of our presentation. The last thing is to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Oh, and TikTok. We're officially TikTok famous now. Māori ki Waikato. And this is where all your updates you'll see about the student rōpū updates, about mental updates, about what our tari is running, about te Kāhui Pirere, and all the other awesome opportunities we have. So from me and Jazzy, just want to say a big thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you guys next year. And if you are coming, hope to see you in te Kāhui Pirere. Anei te mihi ki a koutou katoa. Pai Māori. Cheers.
Cool.